Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. Today I want to show you how I made this card, but first of all I want to explain the influence behind this card. I recently became aware of the Japanese art of Kintsugi, and that basically is repairing with gold, and it's an ancient art. It's about 500 years old, and I love the idea that by repairing with gold you're beautifying the breakage and treating it as part of the object's history, and actually making that object more precious once it has been repaired, broken and repaired, than it was originally. I like that idea, so I've been thinking about making a card to symbolise that. So I've got a jagged crack along there, filled with gilding leafing, and my sentiment comes from the Lovely You stamp set saying, "Trust me, you're lovely," which I think is quite appropriate for this technique. So I'm going to make another one in Evening Evergreen because I really like the contrast of the gold with that lovely dark green there. So I've already gone ahead and made my card base, and I've cut a piece off the designer series paper to actually be the same size as my card, but I will trim it down afterwards. So the first step is just chopping it up, really. No right or wrong way to do it. You can make it as long or as short pieces as you wish. And now to show you, this was my first play with the technique, using a scrap of old designer series paper, and this is what it looks like on the back. Not quite so pretty, and certainly not quite so precious. So I've used tear and tape to fill that gap, and then just stuck the gilded leafing on it. So we'll do that. Now I'm going to work from behind, so this is going to be the back, and I want my pieces to be relatively straight, but I know that that corner is always going to be true, so when I cut this down to fit my card blank, I can work from that. So actually I'm going to bring it in my silicone mat, so that I don't get stuck to my grid mat. So I want it to be quite a narrow channel there because the tear and tape is pretty narrow as well, and I don't want to have to double it up in between. So I'm just going to move that bit in a little bit more like that. That'll be perfect. Okay, so just a case of adding the tear and tape, and you can go over. I can trim that off, that's not a problem. I'm just guesstimating here. Now I do want to make sure that I don't have a gap, so I'm going to peel that back a little bit and make sure that I overlap there. Okay, and I can put that back down. So a piece of rough like that. These are my sticky scissors. I have scissors that I use for tape. You can tear it, which I did with the other one, but just get a little bit more precision this time. Okay, and again just peeling up the end there so that I can overlap it. Okay, so I now have a sticky bit in between. Wrong scissors. I'm just going to take that off just now, because I don't want to waste my gilded leafing on it. There we are. So we're ready to do the gilded leafing. So I'm going to take my silicone mat away and just bring in a scrap of paper that I can use for this. Now, I am simply just adding it into that gap there with my fingers, rubbing it down. There's little extra bits there and I can move them along. So it doesn't use very much of the gilded leafing. And hopefully isn't too messy. A little of this stuff really does go a long way. And you will be able to feel that if you've missed any bits, they'll still feel quite sticky. So you can go back over, add a bit more, just to make sure that you haven't missed any bits. And make sure you've got all of that gap filled in. Okay, now I've obviously got it stuck to my fingers. I'm going to put the lid on and just try and make sure I've got most of the excess off. And off me. I can put that to the side. There we go. So I know that that's a true corner and I know that that's a true corner there, so I can decide whether I want to have it this way or if I want to have it that way. I think I prefer it going from the small crack to the big crack down there. So bring in my paper trimmer and I'm making sure, actually I'll do it along this side first, down the bottom. I don't have enough room here to make sure you can see. So I'm going to line that up to 10 centimetres. And I can trim that bit off there. Okay. So now I know that this bit's true. Just trim that little bit off there, just to get a straight edge. Okay, and then trim that down to 14, which is now obviously way off. Down to 14 like that. So just by having your paper a little bit bigger means that you can make sure that you get that nice and straight. And it's simply a case of then just adding that on to my card base. and I will make use of the tin tape on the back. Like so. And I'm just gonna use my normal multi-purpose glue as well. Try not to squeeze too hard because I don't want too much to come out of it. I need some. There you go. Nice and easy. Rather effective. You will get the slight stray bits of gold leafing. But as I say, if you find even now that once you've put it on you think, that's a bit sticky, you can go back and put some more of the gold leafing on until it's no longer sticky. And that way you've covered up all. I'm using Evening Evergreen ink pad. Oops, managed to get ink around the edge there. I'm just going to take that off. Yeah, better. Just on a scrap of basic white. I can trim down. Trust me, you're lovely. I'm going to just chop that down a little bit. A little bit more, take a little bit off the top. There we go. Can mark that on that piece there. And I'm just going to chop that randomly, like so. And then I'll add it to the backing piece and then I'll chop that as well. I'll have all the measurements and the products that I've used in my blog post, and there'll be a link to that blog in the description bar below. So I'd love it if you'd go and take a look there. There will also be links to the products that I've used in my online shop. So if you are interested in shopping for Stampin' Up products, then please do check that out as well. And I'm just going to add that on with some dimensionals. I'm just about at the end of my dimensionals, so I always make sure that I use these pieces. Waste not, want not. And I've got a wee one left there. Take those off. And pop that in wherever you want to put it. I'm gonna go for there. There we are. And final touch is just to add a little bit extra gold with these gilded gems. little one up there, and medium one down here. There we have it. A nice tribute to mending with gold and creating something a little bit more precious than it was before it was broken. Love that sentiment. If you're new to my channel, I really would love it if you would click on that subscribe button, because I am so close to my next subscriber target. So if you can help me get there, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, take care. Bye bye.